IFC, a member of the World Bank Group, launched a new corporate governance program to help Indonesian companies increase competitiveness and access to financing by improving transparency in their business operations. IFC Indonesia Corporate Governance Program will provide advice to companies on implementing good corporate governance practices, work with government agencies to improve the regulatory framework, and with educational institutions to provide training and raise public awareness. Good morning. Today we're launching corporate governance program of IFC in Indonesia, and today we are here with Moes Miao, Operations Officer of Corporate Governance of IFC in Indonesia, and also Juan Carlos F. Zara, Senior Operations Officers for Corporate Governance in East Asia and the Pacific, and also Stefan Handoyo, Operation Officers, Corporate Governance Program for IFC in Indonesia. So today, Pak Moes, I'm going to ask you a few questions about corporate governance in Indonesia and also in the region. So the first question is, how can corporate governance support sustainable private sector development in Indonesia?
Corporate governance is about finding ways, systems and procedures to help companies be run and managed in a good way, and especially with a focus on the long term, which means that this will help the private sector and companies in the private sector in general focus on being sustainable on the long run, rather than focusing on the short term. The second point is that when implementing corporate governance principles and practices, companies reduce their risk and improve their operational performance, which helps them be more sustainable.
So based on your experience, what are some of the benefits that you have seen in the companies that you have worked with in implementing corporate governance?
What I've seen is that companies we've been working with have become more aware of the benefits of corporate governance, and this has translated into them being better organized, having better procedures, and them being able to make better decisions. At the end of the day also, they were able to inspire more confidence to investors, and they were able to attract investors, be it IFC or other institutional investors. And this we have experienced worldwide. I witness it myself on companies I've been working with as well. And so we hope we will be able to achieve that in Indonesia as well with this project.
Pak Stefan, how can IFC help companies and regulators in Indonesia to promote wide adoption of corporate governance in Indonesia?
Corporation and regulators are the two key players in terms of corporate governance promotion and implementation. And how does IFC how will IFC help these two key players? Or I think on the regulator side, I think we have a lot of existing regulators here, regulation and rules and regulation here. I think one thing that we can help is that in terms of helping them to have a stronger and more effective enforcement mechanisms. Now, with regards to firms, I think we will be working a lot with a number of companies, especially those who are very committed in terms of implementation of corporate governance. And we would like to help them in terms of a very structured progress in the implementation of corporate governance. And we have the tools of that. And I think the way to do it is, I think we have to suggest the company to have sort of assessment, the first assessment. So we can come up with the corporate governance assessments or review, and then move to an improvement plans. And then the improvement plan, I think we have to help them in terms of from the initiation stage all the way up to the company really proficient in terms of corporate governance implementation.
As part of the first step to promote adoption of internationally accepted good corporate governance in Indonesia, IFC will work together with the National Committee on Governance and the Indonesian Capital Market Authority to develop a manual on good corporate governance.
Pelaksanaan GCG yang beyond compliance itu bisa terlihat pada saat perusahaan berhubungan dengan para stakeholders-nya, para pemangku kepentingannya. Kalau dia bisa melakukan tindakan-tindakan bisnisnya yang juga berdasarkan win-win, sama-sama saling menguntungkan gitu ya. Kemudian dia memberikan manfaat bukan hanya kepada hanya profitability buat perusahaan, tetapi juga memberikan manfaat kepada para pemangku kepentingannya, maka dia sebenarnya sudah istilahnya good corporate citizen, jadi beyond the compliance.